Hello everyone, welcome to my podcast. Gilberto Silva, the Invisible Wall. It's great to have you here again, watching us, me and my friend Tim Chase. Welcome, Tim.
Thank you, sir. Good to see you.
This is our introduction, no? How do you start from when you start like this,
I did actually.
Yes.
Let's get in there.
Let's go. Ready?
Yeah.
For today?
Let's get in there.
Oh, fantastic. But I would like to just start something about how we came about, to start the podcast. It's something maybe people don't know, because when we start this podcast, was for me was something I was not, let's say, used to do it. But then, after the few episodes we had, I think now is the moment that we can explain a little bit better.
Yeah, I think we can understand a bit more about what we're going to do with you're going to do with the podcast. Yeah. I think the difference between what you usually do on a TV show or a radio show, you go in there and they ask you questions about stuff. So you're going to talk sport or soccer AM, and they're going to ask you about Arsenal or Brazil or football or something, and you just give your answers about it. But this is actually your show where you can talk about whatever you want, which is great. Yeah. But there's also a little bit of pressure behind it as well.
But the point is about giving my opinion and what things I believe is right. But always trying to be very positive. This is the way I am. As people have seen me over the past year doing some interview, whatever. It's the kind of person I am, and try to do things the best way, very positive.
Yeah, I agree.
Why not keep doing it?
Yeah, I'm really negative, so we balance each other out really well.
He's a bad guy.
Yeah.
Sometimes. But, well, this is, we have a few topics to go through. I hope you enjoyed it. And once again, we are very happy to do this. And what's the topic for today?
So, we're going to go through last week's results and talk about our consistently bad performance in the prediction of the scores.
Yeah, this is a problem.
We need to really think about this because we're not coming off very well. Really poor results again. It's not my reputation I'm worried about. It's your reputation that's going to tarnish this ridiculous prediction.
I think the point is, if you keep doing so shitty in this prediction, I think we must pay something.
We must do some sort of...
Because it's so awful.
Well, you were going to tell me to shave my beard off. And my girlfriend said that she'd rather move out than shave my beard off. So it says a lot about the strength of my relationship.
I'm not going to do like Ronaldo hair.
Do you know what? I've got an idea. The loser of this week's one has to get their tattoo, the GS Invisible Wall podcast, tattooed somewhere.
Okay, even though it was a pen, something like that, right?
Yeah, not on your face. It must be on like your leg or something like that.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, we must pay because we have been no food last episode, doing like trying to do the prediction of the games, but so I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Well, I think, do you know what? I think as we're talking about the predictions and we're discussing what the results are, they're not ridiculous results. I think the thing is the Premier League is so competitive at the moment that it's hard to predict it, because with regard to like Man City, Manchester United, everyone would have said Manchester City win, and then Man United are going to ruin it for everyone.
The point is, yeah,
it's just the Premier League's fault, not ours.
Exactly. But this is a good thing.
Yeah,
it's a good thing.
It's nice to know you're good at everything.
Competition is unpredictable.
Exactly, and that's why it's the best league in the world.
You go to the games, and this game you mentioned, the derby, Manchester. You expect maybe City to win the game, and then Manchester United were very solid. They play a very, very good game, and this is a kind of situation you have. But we cannot forget it's a two big clubs,
massive clubs, and it's a Manchester derby, right?
It's true. And when you go to this kind of game, you have to be sharp for it. You have to be on your top, and my opinion was a very good game.
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic.
And,
I watched it twice because I fell asleep.
Yeah, it was a very, very good game. Could not sleep watching this game.
Well, I've a 6-month-old child at home, so if I get sleep anywhere, I take it.
Did you manage to?
I fell asleep for most of the second half, so I was quite happy with that.
I think you were tired overnight, not sleeping.
When I have a child that hates sleeping.
By the way, I think it was a very good game, and some other results I think during the weekend also prove that Premier League, every game is a different situation. You have full of emotions, and but I hope our prediction works better for holiday.
It can't get any worse. It can't get any
It can be worse. This is the problem. It's
right.
worse.
So let's go through our predictions the way we did them last week. So we had Everton versus Chelsea. You had 1-1.
Yeah.
I had 2-0 to Chelsea. It was 3-1 to Everton. 0 points.
0 points.
Bournemouth versus Liverpool. Well, in fact, we should probably talk about that because Duncan Ferguson came in charge of their parted company with Silva, their coach, didn't they, at Everton? Another management casualty.
Yeah, it's been. I think Marco Silva was under pressure. Anyway, was under pressure for the last few games, and it's becoming quite common. This kind of situation in the Premier League, the clubs are not patient anymore.
Well, they were quite patient with him though, weren't they?
Yeah.
It was one. Well, I suppose at the same sort of time as Emery.
How long stay? 1.5 years?
I think so.
Yeah, but for example, if you compare maybe 5-10 years ago,
Yeah.
you know, the managers last a little bit longer. Maybe probably not too long, like 5-6 years, but a little bit more. Then nowadays we have seen this more often. You know, they change a little bit more their coaches.
Yeah, I mean, so obviously we're going to talk about Arsenal more, but talking about coaches, so obviously Spurs had a poor run of results, sacked Pochettino, recruited Mourinho really, really quickly.
Yeah.
And it's quite insensitive in some ways, thinking about what he's
stayed
done.
there
But
almost 6 years.
But he stayed for 6 years, but they replaced him really quickly, so there's no way they could have done that interview process that quickly. That was obviously being done behind the scenes, which is, I guess, normal. But then you compare that to Arsenal, who took a long time and a long string of results to part company with Unai Emery, and still haven't kind of come up with a replacement.
I think they are. My opinion is that they are trying to be very careful in terms who they bring or not bring.
Yeah.
Because let's see if Fred starts to get the results.
Hopefully so.
And they won against their last game against West Ham. 3-1 away game, which
played really well. Well.
Yeah, it's a very good result. But I know the first two was not the result they expected.
No.
It's 2 draws, and make things a little bit harder for them. The beginning of the process, when Fred, as an interim coach, took charge of the team, it put a lot more pressure when you don't get the result. Change the manager, but the result does not come. But after this result, everything is possible if you keep getting the results. We play the team, but the team needs to respond on the field.
Yeah,
this is the most important thing. For this last game against West Ham, they have a better answer.
Yeah, and I think they played quite well. I don't know if you were talking to your mate Fred, but he seems to change the formation a little bit. Looked after Ozil a little bit, as we discussed.
Yeah, we discussed.
And obviously brought Pepe on, so I don't know if Pepe upset Emery, but he was obviously the record signing for Arsenal, and he scored a great goal yesterday.
That was a very good goal. Fantastic.
You thought it was offside though?
No, I think I was making confusion, Paul, because the position when he got the ball, in the moment he scored, is very similar. The position when he got the pass from Aubameyang and crossed to him again, and he scored. I think looks a little bit, from when you watch it very, very quick. Maybe Aubameyang was a little bit in front of the defenders. The defenders just stop and just raise up their hands, asking for offside, but nothing was given. And 3-1, for us in that moment.
Against West Ham, because West Ham were in a bit of a good form as well. They beat Chelsea last week, didn't they? So they were on a half decent run. So, and it's a derby as well, a London derby.
That's a massive result for us at this point of the competition, because after 2 months without winning the game, it's a long time without winning a game for us, and very important result. You see Pepe score, Aubameyang keeps scoring goals, but you see again Martinelli, it's a Brazilian young boy. He's just enjoying being on the field when he's there, play. Once again, he scored a very important goal for the club at this moment.
Yeah, His first goal, wasn't it?
First goal for
Arsenal.
Premier League.
Nice.
No, it's good. Let's go back to our result.
Yeah, sorry. So
He's trying just not to talk about our results.
Yeah.
Let's see how.
Everton versus Chelsea, we know that was dog shit. Bournemouth versus Liverpool. You put 2-1, and I actually didn't make a prediction. I forgot to make a prediction last week. We talked over it, so I think I would have gone for a 3-0 win to Liverpool. But we're going to have to say that's void because I didn't make a prediction.
No.
So it's unfair. So we've got to void that one. So it's another still 0 points for
Yeah.
you and 0 points for me. Then we had Spurs versus Burnley. You had 2-1.
Yeah.
I had 3-1. It was actually 5-0. So 1 point for getting nowhere near the right score. And it's probably good to talk about Spurs. Liverpool first. So Liverpool obviously on a great run, beating their own record, catching you guys up as the Invincibles.
They are doing very well at the moment. They look very strong, very sharp. Winning the games at home and away, this is very important. When you have a team which are very solid in the way they are playing, they can go further without losing the game. Yeah, people are talking about it. They can break it. This record. Everything's possible. Of course, it's possible. Have to be realistic on this because they are doing very well. And the point now, for all the clubs similar to our time, everyone who goes to play against them wants to beat them.
They want to be the people to.
But they have to be very, very careful because they are on a very good form. Things work very well for them, despite the fact, okay, everyone know. I don't need to say that they got a very good team. They got players that can make difference on the game. Players when they come on a substitute, on a sub, they can do the same. There is a good group of players.
Well, they seem to be balancing each other out because at the beginning of the season, Salah was flying.
Yeah.
And was doing incredibly well, and Firmino wasn't doing very well, and neither was Mane, relatively speaking, in their own high standards, not doing very well. And then Mane picked up, Firmino picked up, and Salah went quiet, again, respectively speaking. And then it was Mane for the last few games have been banging goals in left, right, and centre, while Firmino and Salah went quiet. So it seems like, and now Salah's picking up, and the only reason I know this is because I keep on transferring them in and out of my fantasy football league. My fantasy football team, and I'm just still 1 week behind. So I've moved Salah in just as he starts not scoring any goals.
Okay.
And then so that's what happens with my fantasy team. And so it seems like they kind of either instinctively know or have this bond where they know, right, he's not picking it up at the moment. I know he's not playing very well. Well, it's not that he's not playing well. They're not scoring, but Mane picks up slack. But they've got 3 incredible players there that on their day can score a hat-trick on their own.
This for sure. When you have more than just one player that can make difference, in this league or any other league, it helps a lot. It's very helpful because you have more than one man that can score goals and make difference during the games. And when they are on the pitch, they can be, very dangerous. They can be very dangerous. They bring the attention to them. And sometimes can open space for somebody else to score as well. Not only them score, but open up the space because they are very smart. They got capability to hurt any defenders.
And then last weekend, Van Dijk came up and scored 2 goals. So
it's not about one of the guys. Then you have like a strong guy at the back that can score a goal as well. Yeah. It's when you have like a good team, a good and very strong team. This is what Liverpool are at the moment. The moments they are is something. It's very good to watch. Very enjoyable.
Yeah. So when you were obviously playing for Brazil and for Arsenal, you talked about players that the teams that didn't have one player that could go out and win you a game. You also had several at Arsenal and Brazil. Who was the best game changer that you played with? So someone that you went, right, we're in a bit of a tight spot here. It's over to you. Thierry, or it's over to you. Was it that attitude? Did you know that Ronaldo's going to pick this up? We know we don't have to worry about it.
When you have this type of play, is great, because at some point, even though they don't play well in their game, some particular game, they may not perform their best, but they just need one moment.
One moment, yeah.
They just need one moment. We have seen this a lot, in Brazil we have that. With Ronaldo, some of the games he have his best game, but he just need one moment. I'll give you an example. Against Turkey in semi-final, he didn't have the best of his game, but he just had one moment and he scored a goal, the winning goal in the semi-final. With Thierry, he had a few times as well. Maybe he didn't have the best day, but he's there. He was there. We knew that in the right moment he would make the impact in the game. He would make the difference and score a goal, or create the chance for somebody else. This is what those type of players do on the pitch.
And do you think they know that?
They know, of course.
So they know, look, I'm having a bad game.
First, we know.
Yeah.
No, let me change. First, they know that. But they are, let's say, wait for the right time, because when they try and things does not work, they try again, not work, they start getting annoyed.
Frustrated, yeah. Do you think that's a general personality of these creative players? Because they express themselves, and I guess that's what they're doing, is ultimately they're expressing themselves and their creativity throughout the football. And if you stifle someone's creativity, they get frustrated. Do you think was there any common traits between Ronaldo and Thierry, or any of these players that you played with?
It's frustrating for them. It's like, for example, in my case, I was not on, let's say, play up front, but play as a defensive midfield. When I didn't have, first, when you are not having a good game. This is very important. Once you know that, you have to work out on your mind in that game, how you solve your problems. Because when you are not play well, it's your problem.
Yeah.
Because of something, maybe you are a little bit tired, maybe because you are, let's say, maybe not 100% focused on that day for some reason. But despite that, you have to find a solution in the game. Okay, how can I solve this problem? This is my problem. And the teammates expect myself to perform, but I need to give them the response. I need to give them, what they expect from me. But sometimes, it's in that case, we know, play with them. We need to find a way to support them as well, to feed them in the best moment. We maybe they produce, let's say, a good movement. Maybe sometime, most part of the game, they didn't want to have the ball, but maybe in one moment they just change everything, because they also, they blame themselves. I'm not doing well. What I need to do to change my situation.
Nice. So when you were having a poor game, do you, obviously this first you recognise yourself that you're having a poor game? Do you then go, right, back to basics? I now know that I'm not going to play a very good game today. I recognise that. So now I just need to concentrate on the basics, the team system, and making sure I don't let anyone pass me. Is that sort of conscious in your mindset, or what's the sort of process you go through?
Well, you got to the point. You have to go back to basics, because things are not working well, and you have to solve the problem. But how to solve the problem? This is the point. And if you try sometimes to do too much when things are not going well, and you keep struggling. The point is, okay, I need to step back and go back to basics and try to make things simple as possible, because somehow you lose a little bit of the confidence, and you have to get it back to be in the level you expect to be.
Which describes Arsenal right now quite well.
Yeah, I think the point for us now is just to get to the point of bring the confidence back of all the players. I hope that after this victory against West Ham, the players feel, let's say, relieved after a long run without winning the game.
And a good win. West Ham were doing quite well away from home.
Very important.
No, three good goals from what we saw.
Yeah, very
Really
good
nice
goals.
goals. And 3 different goal scorers.
This is what they need at the moment. People keep score, but also find the balance to support those guys up front. We spoke before
We
about
did,
it.
yeah. And you said Lacazette, Pepe, and Aubameyang.
Yeah, now you
Yeah.
have seen like Gabriel, Martinelli.
Maybe Freddie subscribed to the podcast.
I see.
Chipper, you got to come see me.
Yeah,
You got gold dust here.
Yeah. Maybe it's what? No.
Do you know what?
This is something.
He's got a microphone
Is this
somewhere.
something? But I think it's about for them. It's about winning the games.
Yeah.
It's important. It's more important now to get the confidence back. Winning the games, then play well.
Exactly.
This is what they need. At least in the next, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's
I completely agree. So the next game, we said this, but 5 Spurs versus Burnley, actual 5-0. We got the result, score wrong, but the result right. I think, did you see Son's goal?
Oh yes.
And Mourinho called him Sonaldo.
Well, good approach from Maria.
Yeah, but that's a great goal. It's
No,
like
but it was
old-fashioned,
a great
reminds
goal.
me of
Yeah.
George Weah. Do you remember George
No,
Weah's goal?
Oh, it was a fantastic goal. It was a brilliant goal. Wow. Sometimes, like, I don't know, on a defensive, way of see things, the goal seems like the defenders were running, but
Yeah.
not to get the ball.
No.
But just get away from him.
Yeah.
But, this, despite that, was a great goal.
Yeah.
But I think as a defender, they could have done much, much better.
Well, there's a touch on the just after halfway line when he cut, cause quite not sort of in one of the channels, but he cut in right to the centre because before they had 3 players taking him out wide, and he managed to cut in to go to the centre.
Yeah.
And that was a really heavy touch, and that was the moment that they had to do it, but they were just all over the place.
Yeah, but he was very smart.
Well, he's quite quick
But
as well.
also, very smart and very fast too. Very powerful. He looks very powerful in the run.
He's a big guy, I think. I think he's quite tall.
Yeah, and then it seems like they could not catch him. Though they were trying, but maybe when you say, let's say, about an opinion, maybe they should have done better. Maybe should tied him up, but because he was fast, was very difficult for them. But it was a great goal. It was great.
Amazing.
It's very nice when you see this kind of
You don't see
situation.
them very often.
Yeah,
do they?
exactly, because you don't see, especially in the Premier League, the games are very tight. Sometimes you decide about if you build up from, up front, the final third, make a nice combination of pass, sometimes the cross, but like this, it's not very common here.
Well, not because you've got managers like Mourinho that stop those type of players. So it's ironic that Mourinho's team scored a goal like that. Because if he'd had a goal scored like that against him, he would have hated that.
Yeah, for sure. He would be very hard against his defenders, I guess. But it was a great goal.
It was a beautiful goal. I loved it. Do you remember the George Weah goal from like the 90s where he did it? Was it Milan maybe? But he took it from his own penalty spot and took it all the way through.
So powerful.
I love it. I love those type of goals.
Next.
Man City versus Manchester United.
Yeah, we got it wrong again.
Yeah, you sound surprised. So you had 2-2. I had 2-1 to Manchester City. Actually, 2-1 to Manchester United. But I think the result is not really important within that game. I think there's lots of things that happen within that game that we'll talk about, which is obviously the abuse from the Man City fans.
Yeah, it's terrible situation.
And obviously, you know Fred pretty well. You work with Fred.
Yeah.
To talk about how's Fred feeling about all this sort of stuff that's happening behind this.
Yeah,
Did he know that he obviously knew he was hit with a lighter, but did it kind of dawn on him that someone had thrown something at him?
Yeah, I watched the game, and in the moment, the sport had this kind of attitude. I don't think he paid notice.
No.
He had, he was looking on a train direction.
Well, he's focused on the game. You don't expect someone to be doing that.
And I spoke to him afterwards, and I asked him if he saw the guy doing this. He said no, because I was looking on a different direction. I said, oh, this is good. He just got notice about the situation after the game finished in the dressing room when they showed him. But of course, you know, was very bad. You know, when he went to the corner, tried to get the corner, he got hit by the light. And but it's terrible how things have been in the last few weeks in Europe. You know, now we have this case of abuse, racism abuse, and we have seen some situation in Ukraine with two other Brazilians, Tyson and Dentinho. I think before we had with Balotelli again in Italy.
Yeah, he walked off the pitch, rightfully so.
This is ridiculous. I cannot understand. Nowadays, people still go into the stadium. But it can be in the stadium anywhere, on the street, can be on the street or whatever. I don't know how people still react in this way, being racist of, of somebody. You know, we can share the same space despite the fact the color we are.
It's irrelevant. I mean, I've got a 6-year-old son, and he doesn't look at people like when he meets you and things. He doesn't look at you as, oh, he's a black man. He goes, it's my dad's friend and one of my friends.
Sure.
Well, at what point? I mean, if that guy who from Manchester City, he has parents. How does that come? It must come from someone like that. So if let's say I'm a parent, if I saw my son, if I heard him speaking like that, there'll be hell to pay for this.
I've heard, and on this case, I think the guy, the police called.
I think they caught him, yeah.
Well,
they found out where he works. Well, social media, they know where he works.
Exactly.
So he's probably going to lose his job.
It's very bad. You know, listen, in the end of the day, I know this kind of attitude is very bad. And the people, when they do this, I feel sorry for those kind of people in the way they do. Because, for example, feel sorry because they still think on this way. You know, not because I think the attitude is very bad. The attitude is very bad. This we have to condemn.
Absolutely.
I'm very against any type of racism or discrimination. We have to fight against.
Well, it's
not nice.
It's the rainbow laces.
But listen, how can you look in the mirror afterwards and after having this kind of attitude towards somebody else? It's strange. Sometimes we feel like we are on a strange world, you know, where people go to a place just to put out what they have inside or whatever. I don't know.
Well, I mean, the guy from Man City, Raheem Sterling was standing next to Fred.
Yeah,
pretty much.
He got some problem in the past.
Yeah, and like a year ago he was racially abused by Chelsea. I mean, how can you racially abuse a player from the other team when probably half of your teammates are exactly the race that you're discriminating against and abusing? Well, it makes no sense.
Of course, it makes no sense.
Of course, it makes no sense.
Yeah,
but
I hope people learn. Yeah, I hope the guy learn from his mistake.
Is that how to treat it? Is that you've got to teach them stuff? How do we begin that education? I mean, I think so. Obviously, in Bulgaria, the England players were abused racially, and they've now got to play some games with no fans. Do we have to try and do something like this in England, where we go, right? Do you know what? It's only one fan that's done it, but the whole of that stand now doesn't play, or that you get 9 points deduction, as Raheem Sterling say. You've got to have it where you don't have it. My opinion is where you've got to have it around him. So if that guy's doing that chant, why aren't the other fans around again? Mate, what are you doing? What are you doing? Not only, and the main deterrent would be losing points, or you're going to get it's all kicked out. And we'll have our next Man City game will be played empty, no fans allowed to watch it.
The point you touched is very important. Is okay, somebody can make like this kind of abuse, but the other people around should notice that and have a say about it. It's like the other day I just watched a video from Brazil on social media where a woman had been beaten on a bar by a big guy, and she was trying to fight against it, and he beat them a few times, and they were trying to stop the girl, not the guy. The other guys in the bar was quite ridiculous. Why they don't stop the guy? He was a big guy.
That's why.
But nobody tried to. Hey, come on, you are doing things wrong. It's not nice.
No.
But people.
It's all well and good typing it, saying you should have helped it. Well, what about the people actually there?
You should help the girl of not being beaten.
Absolutely.
And stop the guy. Yeah. But they were trying to help her, but not the same way. with the guy. But this kind of, come back to our point in terms of the racism. That this game, the derby, this is very bad. It's a very bad image, because football is about enjoy.
It's the opposite. I mean, how many nationalities did you play against when you were at Arsenal?
Yeah,
I mean, actually, do you know what I mean?
plenty of. Well, we had this kind of situation once in Holland. Was quite bad. The game we won, I think, PSV 4-1, and I remember that Thierry arrived in the halftime very angry. At that time, I didn't speak the language. I asked Edu what's going on. He said about us, some fans have like monkey songs, in the stadium. I said, it's terrible, it's not good. I listen, I never been, let's say, very close. Somebody had this kind of attitude towards me. But I have this kind of situation in the field, I remember once in Greece, for example, once in the game, they throw an inflated banana on Gilberto CC. He was very angry. We were very upset because of this, but the game went on. We just throw the banana off. We brought him onto the game because it's easy to the players lose the concentration, because it's very hard. It's very hard, But I remember once in my case, I was having a warming up, and suddenly I just look on the side, the phones around this, outside the fence, in one of the stadium Athens. I think it was the game against Panionios, if I'm not wrong. I think so. And then suddenly one of the guys made the same act in this game,
The Man City game.
Yeah, like monkey. I started laughing, honestly, because it didn't affect me.
No.
I did the same way to him.
No.
Because he said that to me. He looked to me like this.
Yeah.
Like this, like monkey. I looked up to him and did the same. I said, and he stopped. And then he did again. I just kissed my skin. Because, this not affect me.
No.
But I understand, every people react different when they have a kind of abuse.
Yeah.
Now every situation is different. My situation was one. The environment I grew up, was one. Those people have different kind of backgrounds, environment they grow up. Some more tough in terms of racism, abuse, whatever. But we have to stop this.
It's. I mean, how old is Fred?
He's 25.
He's 20. He's a young man.
26.
Yes, he's a footballer, but he's a person first and foremost, and he's a young man. I mean, if that was happening in the streets of any city in the world, you would not accept that, would you? So why do we accept it at football? I mean, Fred's a young man who's incredibly gifted at football and is plying his trade, is fortunate enough to ply his trade, but he's fortunate because I'm sure he's worked hard his whole life and made lots of sacrifices, because he wouldn't have got that far. So how can someone stand there or sit there from the crowd and do you think that it's acceptable to do that?
No, it's hard, but listen, the good thing is that I spoke to him. He's alright, Of course, upset of seeing all the images and the video, but this situation did not affect him. He's alright, very positive. He was focused on the game.
Yeah,
which is very
it's good that he didn't see it at all, really.
I know he received many kind messages from friends, family, asking how he was feeling. But he said, listen, I'm okay. This is not going to affect me. I think it's going to affect more the person who did that to me than myself.
Absolutely.
But it's for sure, this is how you have to react sometimes.
Yeah.
I know, every case is a different case. You have to treat us, every time when this kind of situation happens, you have to fight against it, to stop, repeat and repeat over and over again.
Absolutely. So it's very sad that it's happened.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's a shame because Fred actually had a really good game.
Yes, I think this. For example, if you focus in the racism abuse, you forget how good he plays in the game. And not only him, but the team as well.
They look incredible going forward. They look like Manchester United under Alex Ferguson that you used to play against.
Yeah, I think they had a very good game, very solid. He had, I think, maybe my opinion, some friends sent me a message that was like his best game in the club. Very solid, but this is what he was needing, in the team. Play more games in a row. Now we don't see. I think he has played quite a lot of games in a sequence. He's been more confident and understand more how manage the situation, in the position. He's confident and happy. Part of he's happy in the club. It's the most important thing.
Enjoying life in Manchester?
He's alright. I think the first season was hard. He knew that, we knew that, but he's adapting. He's doing everything to adapt and feel comfortable. He's happy with his family, his wife and his son, and enjoy being in the club, adapt to the life there. He's okay, he's alright, he's happy.
Cool. So, we got no points.
Sorry. Our results have been,
so bad. And then Villa versus Leicester. You had 2-1, I had 3-1, and to be fair, I got the closest we've ever come to predicting a score because it was 4-1, so I was only 1 goal away. But there's no point in getting any credit for that because we still didn't get it right. So we now one all last week, 2-all this week. And I think unless we get something like this week, we've got to do some sort of forfeit or there's something that happens.
If you don't solve this, we're gonna pay a penalty.
We've got to pay a penalty. Yeah.
Something.
Yeah, exactly. It's got to, we think maybe you can send us some suggestions of what we do to deserve.
Or we change. Not gonna do the prediction anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, maybe the suggestion will be stop. The punishment will be you're punishing us by making us listen to this shit. So yeah, Arsenal had their first win in 2 months. We've spoken about that.
Yeah.
Then this week's games: Liverpool versus Watford.
Another prediction. Let's see if we get something right.
There we go.
What's yours?
I've got. Do you know what? All the results at the moment aren't making any sense. So Watford at the bottom of the league, Liverpool at the top of the league, so I'm going to go 1-1. It makes no sense.
It doesn't make sense.
It makes no sense, but none of our predictions yet make sense.
But now with Liverpool, I put 3-0.
Okay.
I don't know, go for. Let's see.
It'll be like 8-all, isn't it? Yeah, that's what it'll finish. It'll be 8-all.
Let's see.
Manchester United versus Everton. What do you reckon?
Put 2-1, Manchester United.
3-2. We've actually got a bonus bet on this. I think Fred's going to score, so we've got a side bet of £10 that I think Fred's going to score. So he's probably not even going to get played. Right. He's probably going to get dropped.
Hope you're right.
Yeah. Arsenal, Man City.
How do you think?
I reckon you're going to go for an Arsenal win, right?
3-1 Arsenal. I'm very positive.
Of course you are.
Yeah.
Deluded, but positive.
No, I'm not deluded. I have to be positive.
Okay.
Come on, Arsenal.
God, the guns. I'm going to go 3-1 Manchester City.
Unbelievable.
Mate.
You see,
Throw
a friend I have.
Yeah, exactly. Lives in the real world. Chelsea versus Bournemouth.
I go for draw. 1-1.
Yeah. I'll go 2-0. Leicester, Norwich.
2-0 Leicester.
3-1 Leicester.
Let's see if you're right or close.
There's some awful scores coming in.
Because if you don't get something better than what we had,
it can't get any worse. Well, it can get worse, but not much.
It can be worse, much worse.
The ball has to bounce on the bottom before it comes back up again.
Let's see.
Is there anything else you want to chat about?
I think for today is...
It's all good for today?
Oh, it's good. That's great.
Nice.
It's, if you leave us, we have a lot of things to say. We talk, I don't know, for hours. But I think it was good for today. So, thank you very much for watching it. Once again, hope you like it. Team, thank you for coming. Once again.
Always a pleasure, mate.
I hope to see you soon in Brighton.
Absolutely. You're always welcome down here.
Fantastic. Hope you like it. Go there, like it, and subscribe. be fantastic to have you following us. See you soon. Bye bye.
Hey, bye bye.